Hi everyone. So I would like to encourage you to look at a little sketchbook. I know a lot of you have a bigger one. This is a wee one that I have had for a while. Mostly notes in it and different diagrams, but I thought this would interest you. I know that we did look at abstract before, and some of you found it quite difficult. So I am loving abstract, as you know, but I also love landscapes, which is this. So, what I'm trying to do at the minute, I don't know if you've seen any online, I am combining the two even more. So, for me, it's a very, look, these are still wet. It's a very recognizable alley style, but there is the element of texture. This is actually quite a tight painting, I think, but we're going to use that as an example today to do little improvements in your sketchbook. So the way that I've been working is I will often have, you will see there will be like two sketches from on site. So I'm trying to do it like either a continuous line, which is what we're going to do today, or gestural. You know that I love gestural. So that was Port Noblat. Some I did there and some I did since I came home. This is Marble Hill, which is, no, that's Killahoe, the one I showed you. That's Hornhead, and that's Killahoe. So you can see the translation between the two, but how important it is to have that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a continuous line. And then another way we're going to do it is taking into account different shapes and really just the quirkiness of this. I want you to stop overthinking. You know, I like to always talk about listening paintings, but also overthinking and being too worried about the outcome can really stifle what it is you're trying to get. So for me, this is like a safety net in that you lay down the foundations, but then by adding in swirls and different imagination type things, I think you really tap into a richness there. So we're going to do line drawing. I have this box of pens. I don't know if I've shown you these before. I had them they're from Amazon, but they do go through the page quite a lot. So one thing I thought you could do if you are going to be taking your sketchbook out, which I would love you to do, you can bring your paints with you. And what this does, if you put this down like this will protect it from going through onto, see the way this has gone onto the other page? Whereas if I am drawing now with these types of pens, and if I start to do anything along these lines, it means I can go right to the edge, and the same applies if you have paint on that, but also it means that you're not ruining it. So that's just a piece of cardboard. You can get, it's like a piece of plastic, but that's really good, and we will be doing that today. So we're going to do our continuous lines. You can use your pencil for that, or if you have crayons and different pens, that would be great. There's no rhyme or reason to the colour that you use. And then lastly, what we're going to do, which is another step forward for helping with abstract, is using collage. So I actually looked at Pritt sticks last night in Lidl and did not buy them, which I really should have bought them. But what this can do, so this is just totally random, and because I'm working on such a small scale, and if you're doing the same, you really don't need to worry about it being all the right size and everything. I didn't pick a Pritt stick last night, so I'm actually just going to use these little guys, which are sticky things. I want you to always try to use what you've got. Don't overthink and feel you have to go out and buy stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to tear and cut. I also have my scissors here to do that. We can do that so that we can also make a small landscape on that. I do have this. If I thought about maybe we would want to do two side by side, so that might be easier for you to see, and one collage of one. But I really would encourage you to start getting used to sketchbooks. Whenever you put, I think I've shown you my sketchbooks before, when you start to put life into them like this, they really do become an extension of you, and you'll pick them up more and you'll use it more and you'll want to talk about it and you'll have a memory. For me, this was in Montecito, and I absolutely love that the colour bled from this page through. To me, this is just real. It's beautiful. I think these are beautiful together. And it's just a mixture of lines and dabs, because everything that you do here will translate whenever we get to painting again and adding texture that way. I'm worried about that getting me. So let's get started. Your sketchbook. We're going to use the Marble Hill you can have your little thing. It's good to get used to this. You can make your little board smaller if you like. But this is on my little sketchbook. Doesn't matter if you're using your larger sketchbook. Just give this a go, please. It's good to do. So as normal, this Killahoe is what we're doing. We've got our, continuous lines. So you've made your horizon. You want to come back. You want to go up, dip down, up again, and up to the top. You want to come down here. And then this is our C here. So what the continuous line does is it means you can't do this sketchy bit. You cannot go straight to the lines like what I have here in these, or what we've done before, like last year whenever we were looking at Narran Beach as well. So let's do one more of those. I'm going to use a coloured pen this time rather than the pencil. Thin edge. So what we do is we go, and you can go then. So the thing about a continuous line, if you want to start it higher so that it's all downward, you can do that. So let's start over here. This is the headland, and I know that it dips and down and then back on ourselves. What you can do there is the water there and then up here. And if you're using pens like this, like really strong, nearly toxic type pens, look at how that really does change. It's a very different vibe to this. So when I am in New York City, which used to be a lot more of, I like to do drawings like this of the cityscape. So continuous lines, and then you're getting the peaks and the troughs, and it's a lovely, it's almost like, it's not braille, but something along that signature style. And then with this, with our coloured pen, it just changes it completely. So if you're using coloured pen, I would encourage you to have 2 different colours even, minimum. I'm going to use 3 today. Looking at the colour wheel, if you think about the colour wheel, these colours are very varied. But if you think about the colour wheel, what about a pink and a yellow are good opposites of each other. A green and a purple are good opposites of each other. Things like that. So be conscious of that as well. But look, let's just add to this. You can do another one if you want. You know what, we actually could do another one. They're so pretty. You'll get, what you're doing with abstract is you really are letting go of, well, overthinking obviously, but you're building up real character and an individual take on what it is that is in front of you. So that is as important as ever with landscape. And I do this with you because I want to improve my own landscape. So I quite enjoyed coming up from the hill the last time, but this time I'm going to go here, go up, and I'm going to go down, back up again and across, and then we're going to go here and back for our waves. Somehow not as strong, and the reason I think it's not as strong is because we have the line here. I think this cuts this off, but that's okay. Let's add some detail to that. So let's go right over it. I do like a circle, I always have. And then our other color, what did I say I was going to do? Purple, pink, and the green. So let's go for green. And then what we can do here is you can just add in, and you can go over the top of. If that feels too restrictive there as well, what you can do then is you can start to just block in. And go right to the lines, but look, separate them. Keep them so that they're their own individual. The difference, if you're using crayons or chalk, because we become, well, with my style, because I become so messy with whenever I start to paint, it's nice to be able to have the two colors so separate, and then you start to get that real change. So the same with the pink as well here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take pink and put it in this circle here. If you want, you can take it right the whole way up. But look how you start to then change. Look, there's little areas here. I want you just to look at the little bits which might have seemed like mistakes at the time, but that really becomes much more fun, in my opinion. And then same with here. What you can do is you can just do some dots or squiggles. It can be, we could do some of the little circles. If we go right back to what we learned ages ago at the very start, when it was nearly like frog spawn, every detail can translate into each of the skills and mediums that you use. You don't even need to go the whole way across if you want to, but there we go. That's a really good way to get us used to that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn that over. And this is our simple line of Killahoy. This is our simple line with coloured marker. Same again with coloured marker. And then this is the introduction of the abstract. So I am going to, you know what, I'm just going to use the sketchbook for this because it'll be so nice to have it and it all makes sense. So what we're going to do now is we're going to draw out with your pencil. You're going to take this, actually this is what I made this, it's easier this way. I can always cut it out and stick it in. So this is an approximate really. If you're much more calculated and measured, feel free to tighten that up, to use a ruler. It would serve me much better if I did, to be honest. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to mirror this onto here. So we don't need to do our continuous line, but it might actually help the flow of the whole thing. Dip down and off. Then we have the circle interrupting there, or the oval, and then over here we have our wave. So take really your colours, do a mixture of whether you want to do terra or not. So this is just like a little brown bag that I had. And I'm going to try, I'm maybe going to make actually, I'm going to do the circle round. So and the reason I encourage you to do this is actually whenever it comes to painting, you can paint over it too, and then you've got an automatic texture. Doing a bit like an egg there, so I'm going to use the little stickies. I love getting to play. But rather than use the paints today, we're going to use our pens over the top of that. So there's that. Then some green. I'm going to go for the green down here. Now, it's quite... Scissors for this side, and go at the side, and then down. So we want it to go wavy. There we go. We could put another little bit here. So like that. You can see how like this can be done on site, you know, whenever you're out and about. Fun. And how you make a simple landscape into a much more interesting, I think. So there we go. Now let's think what else we would like to do. So we have this bit here. I'm actually going to go in here with. So I'm going to tear it down. And then this I'm going to make a lot rounder. There we go. Cool. It's like a psychedelic. There we go. There. Right. And then lastly, I'm going to put a bit of this pink tissue paper along the headland. So the headland comes in there as well. So I'm going to go right across with it. And the good thing is you'll be able to see, because this is light paper, don't want you to worry if you don't have, like this was just, I obviously have this type of paper lying about from workshops, but if you just have certain colours from magazines, even if it has people on it, like if it's cardboard, if it is, what do you call that? Tin foil. Doesn't even matter. Whatever you do just to get real texture on there. Now, you can bring back your colours, or you can use a different colour if you want to put over the top. So if I was painting this, what I would do is start to put on a bit of paint here and around the side. But you can just mix and match what it is you'd like to do. I think I'm going to go here. Here. Oh, now what I should do is this underneath again. And look, the grooves automatically add their own shape. You can finish lines, you can take lines so they don't finish completely. You can add in this. Lastly, I'm going to come in with a nice light colour. I'm going to go here. There we go. And then up here. There we go. So that will, I guarantee you, by the time you get to your one line drawing, then your coloured pens and your little textured piece, you will be starting to prepare yourself for, like this really is quite neat. I'd love to show you some of the other ones, but I just couldn't bring them in here at the minute. But look, the idea is that once you start squiggle here, you will squiggle with your paint. Same with the texture. I have granules up here, and other paintings that I have in there. There's actually paintings over the top of paintings. So I will see you in the next video.